when Mac Jones can run 70 yards and then gritty in the end zone, you know something's wrong. Right?
Dude, scraping into the playoffs.
Yeah.
You might as well just call that the Schmigley Jones parlay. Those are astronomical.
Come Veterans terrible. Kenny Galladay's good.
Oh.
Man, if the Giants win one playoff game, I'm going to be so hyped. All right, everybody, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 1 of Drop a Pass, Run a Mile. I am with Jared here, as always.
Woo! We're back, baby. We're
I might
back.
throw some of the, the siren thing where it's like, I'm gonna throw that in the edit. Just kind of a disclaimer / preview for this season. I'm really going to be going hard this year, making some graphics for TikTok and everything. We'll be posting on there at least once a week, maybe even twice a week. We're also going to have every single podcast on YouTube.
Let's go.
Jerry Seinfeld let me borrow his apartment this year for the podcast, so I highly recommend checking that out on YouTube. He also did some interior decorating that I heavily agree with. It looks nice. So, yeah, but definitely check us out on YouTube as well this year. And then, as always, we're going to be posting on Spotify weekly. This is going to be like a preseason episode. So we probably won't post again until the week before week 1 of the regular season. We just wanted to kind of get everybody aware that we're still here. We're here to stay, and we're here to make some noise. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jared, any words?
Super pumped. Just like the Redskins getting sold this offseason, it brings new life. We're bringing new life back into the podcasting game.
Yeah.
Because we were gone since the Super Bowl.
Jared told me if Dan Snyder doesn't sell the team, I'm never doing another podcast episode again.
Never coming back on again.
Yeah, so thankfully Dan Snyder sold the team because, yeah, we wouldn't have Jared here. No, but yeah, no, I'm super excited for this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. Both of our teams are, obviously I'm a Giants fan. Jared's a Commanders fan. They're both
won the Super Bowl, whether we win a game or not this year. Like, we could go 0-17, and I would still be like, let's freaking go. This team's back, baby. We're back.
I think the Commanders probably have. I mean, Giants have a lot of young talent too. I'm just hoping the man we paid puts the money where his mouth is and shows up this year. Yeah, we'll get more about Daniel Jones' passing yards and such in a little bit here. First segment we're going to go into this year. We've kind of switched up all our segments this year. Some of the same though. But first one we'll get into is Let's Talk About It. If you're on YouTube, you'll probably see the graphic pop up right about now. So, yeah, we'll just talk about everything kind of going on this offseason. Jared, do you want to start us off here?
Yeah, well, this offseason is pretty much just the offseason of the disgruntled running back, right?
Yeah. 100%.
You're either a rookie running back that doesn't have to worry about your contract for another 3 to 4 years. You're a middling of the road running back where, like, you could get paid a little bit more, but like you're getting paid what you're worth pretty much, a couple million a year, no big deal. And then you've got your superstar older running backs that, like, Ezekiel Elliott just ruined your whole career earnings charts ever. Because it was just like, it all goes back to the Cowboys giving Zeke the last massive contract for running backs and him just not being able to perform after, like, he was like 26. So it's just like, it sucks for all these guys because they're coming in, they're like, hey, like Saquon. And Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing last year, and he can't even get a long-term deal. It's unbelievable.
Do you remember what that Zeke contract was?
It was like a 5-year deal. It was something crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up quick.
But yeah, like, and then the latest news, Jonathan Taylor requested a trade because the Colts were unwilling to give him an extension in the last year of his deal, which is basically like Saquon and Josh Jacobs with their franchise tags. And Jim Irsay, who is probably now the worst owner in the NFL comes
Yeah.
out and says, we could both die tonight and no one would care.
I think he's gonna get a lot of like negative player feedback from that. Like
Yeah.
he kind of handled that very.
Super
Well, we
cool.
can talk about Sean Payton after this too, talking about handling situations poorly. But yeah, I think Jim Irsay was kind of stepped out of line there. Like you got to show you might not want to pay your players like top dollar, but you got to show a little respect to the players and at least be like, hey, we understand Jonathan Taylor's a good running back. I'm sure we could reach an agreement. You know what I mean? Something a little more civilized.
We understand he's our best offensive player. We're going to work on it.
Exactly.
We're not going to leave our brand new, shiny rookie quarterback without a running back in his first year. Like, so stupid.
If you had to guess what that Zeke contract was, what would you guess?
5 years, $65 million.
This contract sounds absurd right now. He signed it in 2019. It was a 6-year, $90 million contract. Which right now in this running back market, if I'm Josh Jacobs or Saquon, I'm crying.
Not even asking for that.
Yeah, that's insane.
What?
6 years, $90 million in 2019.
And he got like 2 good years out of that contract. And then
there was guaranteed money in the contract for the first 3 years, which brings us up to where we are now. Then no guaranteed money in the final 3 years, being 2023. Elliott is set to count $16.4 million against the 2023 salary cap with a non-guaranteed $10.4 million base salary.
Good Lord.
6-year, $90 million. That's insane when you think about the running back.
Running back. And that was a second contract.
Do I think that running backs are underpaid? 100%. Yes. But you're not. I was telling somebody this. It's just going to take a stupid GM like Jerry Jones to pay a running back, a mediocre running back, like a ton of money. Like and then you might be able to reset.
Getting paid right now are C-Mac and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Literally. I don't think there's another one. Like Eckler wants a new contract, Jacobs wants a new contract, Saquon wanted a new contract, and then it's a stupid contract.
So this is what happened with that. So it was like July 22nd or something was the deadline to sign the franchise tag or reach a long-term agreement. That deadline passed. So then after that deadline, the player is only allowed to sign a 1-year contract. So they basically restructured the franchise tag and said, hey, we're going to give you $400,000 less than what the franchise tag is, but we'll give you up to an extra $1 million in incentives. So he can now make with a $2 million signing bonus. So he took a $10.5 million franchise tag and turned that into a possible $11 million deal with a $2 million signing bonus. So he did make for what? Because at that point it was either that or he sits out the season. And I know like some other like NFL was talking about it or somebody, but if Saquon sits out the season, he's making no endorsement money. He's making, you know what I mean? It's like at this point, like it's either you sit down and you face the facts of what the running backs are making and you take it, or you literally make no money, like because So because I really didn't think I thought Saquon was super set on the long-term deal, which is why I traded him in our dynasty league because I was like he's not playing this year, like it's just not happening. But then he signed that 1-year deal and everyone was like, okay, this is strange. But when you look at kind of like what the other part of that was, or like what else could have happened, he's better off just signing the contract.
Yeah, definitely. Does that mean next year if the Giants tag him again, does he get that second tier of the tag, like 2 years in a row, or does he not because he has this deal?
I don't think he does because he didn't. Actually, he might because I think I saw something that he like signed the franchise tag, but it was like a restructured franchise tag. So yeah, so I think it'll be interesting. But yeah, the Giants we're gonna run into the exact same problem next year again.
Because I think next year the tag would be like $13 million.
Yeah, because I mean it might be a little better for him, hopefully. But I also don't want to see Saquon just get franchise tag every year. Obviously he doesn't want to see that either. But he is a good running back, but in this market, like you can't request all this money. Like it's just
Right.
not going to work.
Unless you're like running backs are just gonna have to start holding out after their like second year in the league.
Yeah.
Because like if you don't, you're not gonna get that second contract.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Another
Absolutely
interesting thing
wild.
I saw was you're allowed to negotiate long-term contracts at the end of the regular season. So before playoffs. So somebody else was like, if Saquon wanted to, say the Giants make the playoffs, Saquon wanted to, he could say, if I don't get a long-term contract before the playoffs start,
Not
I'm
playing
out.
in the playoffs. That's crazy.
Which would be like a real jerk move, but it could happen.
That's the easiest way to get your money, right?
Exactly. So, because I'm assuming with those incentives, yeah, it's only an extra $1 million, but I think Saquon's really going to have a good year this year, as long as he stays healthy, which is the whole reason we didn't sign him to a long-term contract in the first place, was his health.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, Josh Jacobs holding out as well. Nobody even knows where he is.
Eckler wanted out.
Yeah, but he ended up signing too, right?
I think he wanted a trade
Yeah.
because he didn't think his contract that he's in right now was good enough. And then I guess they smoothed things over and paid him a little bit more. But yeah.
I think if Tony Pollard doesn't break his foot in that playoff game, I think he could be in a similar situation. But I think he did end up signing the tag because he kind of knows, like, hey, I'm still in rehab process right now. I got to get back to this. I'm going to take the money that I can get.
How long is he? Is he out for like the season, or is he okay?
I think he's expected to play in the regular season. I don't even know if he's supposed to miss any games.
Okay.
Because he had the entire offseason. He had since January to recover from that.
That's true.
I heard at training camp they're kind of taking it slow with him, which I think is a good idea. But I'm pretty sure he's like almost 100%. But yeah, another player on the Cowboys too, Zach Martin. I was telling Jared about this. He's still under contract, but because of all these, Andrew Thomas, for example, signed a 4-year, $117 million deal as a left tackle. And because of all these offensive line deals, he is also now wanting a restructured contract to make more money, and he might not get it, so he's holding out a training camp right now. And then, yeah, we talked about Jonathan Taylor as well. Getting off the contract negotiation train, I wanted to talk about, too, the Cowboys. I was watching NFL Network today, and they were talking about the Cowboys, so I have a lot of, like, Cowboys stuff. Because I told you about this too. NFL Plus, it's $40 for the year. Now I just watch NFL Network all day at work. I just listen to it all day, and it's so nice. I'm like, I catch up on all my stuff. I can hear about stuff, so I have stuff to talk about on here. But yeah, I didn't realize that Kellen Moore is now the OC for the the Chargers. So I think the Cowboys. I don't know if Mike McCarthy's the guy. I never thought that
he's calling plays this year.
He is.
Mike McCarthy, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Why is he calling plays? He can't even call timeouts.
Yeah, literally.
What?
I
think the Cowboys are taking a big step back this year.
Yeah.
I don't think they make the playoffs. It's kind of a hot take. I don't think they make the playoffs at this point, unless Dak is a lot better. And somehow Mike McCarthy is like, I now know how to call plays and timeouts.
Their biggest offseason acquisitions were Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks, right?
Yeah.
So,
they're both, super old.
I don't think Brandon Cooks is any better than Michael Gallup, right?
Not at this point in his career, I don't think.
Yeah, I think Michael Gallup's always injured, but when he's not, he kind of balls out because he's a big-bodied receiver and he can make some plays. But yeah, I don't think Brandon Cooks.
Tell me Saints or Rams Brandon Cooks was on the Cowboys, I'd be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
but he's not that guy anymore.
Who do the Cowboys have as their primary receivers right now? CeeDee Lamb, obviously, and then is number 2 Brandon Cooks then?
I think.
And then number 3 is
Gallup.
Noah Brown.
Wait, did Gallup leave?
I don't think so, but he's just always injured.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what that Brown kid.
Yeah, Noah Brown.
Noah Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know of anybody else. They have that Jalen Tolbert guy they drafted last year, but he was horrible.
Yeah. Apparently, there's big talks about Deuce Vaughn, because he's like Darren Sproles. Yeah, he's like 5'5", 175. He's so small.
Tiny.
Yeah, he's so small.
It's a cool story, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Where's Zeke gonna sign?
I don't know if anybody's gonna sign him. I think he's probably
not sign him. Like, he's still good. He's not Ezekiel Elliott anymore. He's like Big Z. Like, he could easily be LeGarrette Blount at the end of his career. Easily.
Yeah. I think you're right about that. I mean, who needs how much? First of all, most important question: how much money is he asking for?
That's true.
Because
maybe he just doesn't need the money anymore. I don't know. If I'm him, I'm looking at who's going to get down to the goal line where I can just steal goal line carries. The Dolphins don't have a power running back. I'd get Miami. Florida has no income tax.
I think Dalvin Cook is between the Jets and the Dolphins right now, but Dalvin is a Miami native. So he said he wanted to go back to there. That would be cool, but I think the Jets are offering him more money right now.
I think it makes more sense for him to go to New York, just because Miami has Mostert and Wilson, both kind of speed, catch it out of the backfield guys. They kind of need a bruiser. Whereas the Jets, with Breeze possibly being out a little bit, Dalvin could like be the guy for a couple weeks.
Yeah, similar to like Leonard Fournette when he went to Tampa.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing how like these quarterbacks like Rodgers and Brady are just showing that like you can have God squads in the NFL.
Right?
Like Rodgers took a pay cut, like a $13 million pay cut.
$35 billion.
Yeah. He's like, I have enough money. I just want to win some more Super Bowls.
What?
Yeah. Like how? Like if I'm like
I understand. That's awesome. Why is everyone not doing that?
Yeah.
Why is Lamar taking $1 billion and holding out? Like, do you want a good team around you, or do you want it to be?
I think they're greedy, and obviously,
I think they're greedy, and then I think it's also like the rushing quarterbacks kind of need to get that guaranteed cash because like they're one plant away from never being the same. You know.
That's true. Yeah.
It's probably easier for a pocket passer to be like, I could break my leg and be fine.
Yeah.
You know?
I think also like the quarterbacks that have been around for a while probably don't take into account their agent as much as they did at the beginning of their career. I think younger players want the money, and I think their agents are always going to tell them that, you know, which is why we see all the running backs mad about their contracts and stuff. But for Rodgers, he's already made enough money. You know what I mean? Like, I think there legitimately is a point to where you make enough money in your life to where you get to the point where you're like, what do I need? What else do I need?
Right.
Because at this point, it sounds like Aaron Rodgers needs like a family and stuff like that. So I don't think he's gonna be able to buy himself a family.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
So
what is he missing in life? Love and affection? I don't think you can buy that.
Yeah. So at this point, it's like, yeah, I'll take the $30 million pay cut. Go get me like Dalvin Cook. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Sean Payton coming out weirdly and just kind of setting everything up where he could basically be like, look, this team was so bad before I got here.
Yeah.
I improved them slightly. I'm a good coach, you know?
Yeah.
It was just weird. Like, you don't see anybody do that. Even when it's like even the Colts' new head coach was not like, they had Mike freaking Saturday coaching.
Yeah.
Like, he never said that. He's just like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We didn't obviously have a good year last year. We're going to try and do better this year.
Yeah, it's like it's just a respect thing.
Right.
Like basically, he's like what he's saying there is, it's really easy to be a head coach in the NFL, and he did a terrible job. Like it's obviously not an easy thing to do, and there's people that have messed up really bad in the past,
Right.
like Pat Shermer, terrible Giants head coach, awful Giants head coach.
Jim Zorn.
Yeah. But you don't see Brian Dable coming in and being like, yeah, Joe Judge burned this team into the ground. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you never see that. It's just a respect thing. So for him to do that. And did you see what Aaron Rodgers then said? Because Vic Fangio is the OC now for the Jets.
No, not Fangio. Hackett.
Oh, yeah.
Hackett.
Yeah, Hackett, yeah. He's the OC now for the Jets. And Aaron Rodgers was like, yeah, don't talk about my offensive coordinator that way.
Keep my coach's name out your mouth.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah. Verbally, Will Smith slapped him across the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was all I had.
Yeah, I think that's all I have too. Any off-season acquisitions that you're pumped about? I think D-Hop on the Titans is going to be a little better than people think he might be.
Yeah.
I know he's old, but he's still a freak of nature.
I don't have any reservations about D-Hop.
Okay.
It's just the Titans.
Yeah.
Like Tannehill's in his last year of the they just drafted Will Levis. They're probably not going to have great quarterback play. Their offensive line kind of stinks. It just kind of feels like a weird Band-Aid attempt. I don't know. I was excited about Treylon Burks being the number one receiver too, so that kind of sucks for me. But
hey, you have it could be like a Jalen Waddle situation where everybody covers D-Hop.
Yeah, but I don't think the Titans are going to be like air raid, Yeah. It doesn't really fit Vrabel or their offensive structure when they still have Derrick Henry. One thing that's interesting to me is, let's say one of these running backs goes down in the first couple weeks of the year, and then the Titans suck at the trade deadline. Do they trade Derrick Henry in the last year of his deal? Probably the last year of his sustainable career.
I think it's possible.
That would be pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Can you imagine acquiring Derrick Henry right before Tractor Cito season?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
For some reason, when I think about teams that need running backs, I kind of automatically go to the Ravens. Because don't get me wrong, J.K. Dobbins is really good, but he's been injured a lot to start his career.
Yeah, I think we'll see the first couple weeks if he's, because even when you come back from an Achilles, it always takes longer than kind of anticipated, So I doubt. Just like with Chase Young's ACL, he was back for 4 games last year, but he wasn't really back.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm excited for this year, is seeing players that are actually getting a full year to prepare for the season instead of rehab.
Yeah. I think a lot of these players they get injured early on and then we kind of forget about them coming into the season. Perfect example, Cooper Kupp. He's going to revitalize the Rams offense.
Hopefully.
I mean, a player
you got one last run if you're the Rams.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, Aaron Donald's probably not going to go to another team, right? He'll just retire. Considering he was going to retire 2 years ago, and then his agent talked him out of it or something.
Probably done. The Rams tried trading Stafford this offseason, and nobody wanted to take on his contract, which is nuts.
What's his contract?
I mean, it's I think it's $40 million a year. But he won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He was injured towards the end of the year too, right?
Yeah, he was injured all of last year almost.
Yeah. And they had Wolford or whatever.
Yeah, John Wolford.
Dude. It's rough, because the Cardinals were always a fun team to watch when Kyler Murray was healthy. You know what I mean? Very fun team to watch. they are now just like bottom of the barrel. They're not projected to win a single like they're not favored in any of their games.
Oof.
Not a single game are they favored, which is insane.
And they have 2 first-round picks next year.
Oh, really?
They have the Texans pick.
Oh, nice.
So they could possibly have like 2 of the top 5 picks in the draft.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I could see that.
If they or the Texans are the worst team in the league, do you think that they trade Kyler and draft Caleb Williams?
I think it depends on how Kyler comes back. I think if Kyler comes back and plays like he did before he got injured, like 2 years ago,
Right.
I think they'll keep him. I think Kyler Murray's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But
it's just like, if they're that bad, I wouldn't be surprised if their new head coach gets canned because nobody likes him anyway.
Yeah.
Gannon or whatever his name is.
Cliff Kingsbury was really cool.
He was cool. He was a terrible head coach.
Yeah.
Horrible. So it's like, if the Cardinals fire their coach because they suck super bad, is the new coach going to want to come in, deal with Kyler Murray's ego and his contract, or restart completely with Caleb Williams and another top pick?
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals, who do the Cardinals have right now? Their top receiver is Hollywood Brown, followed by Rondale.
Yeah.
They have Zach Ertz as their tight end, who's like 50.
I still can't believe Christian Kirk got signed to like a 4-year, $84 million deal.
And he played well.
He did. He played really well.
Yeah, he was a beast. So it's just like, if I'm the Cardinals, I kind of want to just be super, super bad.
Yeah.
Fire everyone, clean house, and just start over with 2 top picks.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not a bad idea.
But,
Like, they're one of those teams that just need like a full rebuild.
right?
I was thinking of a team earlier that needed like a full rebuild. I forget who I was thinking of though. Oh, I think the Cowboys after this year, if Dak throws like 20 interceptions again,
Right?
I think you got to start looking on.
Yeah, because they're like, they've always been aging, and their offensive line is old. Their corners are old. They're like, your best piece is Micah.
Well, they have Diggs too.
Yeah, but Diggs is like, he
He's
tries
good.
to jump everything, and then he gets burnt.
Yeah.
He's not like a true shutdown corner. He's like a TikTok corner.
He's young though.
Yeah, but
So.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. Cowboys could probably make some changes if the season doesn't go well.
I definitely McCarthy. Jeez.
I'll have to put a headphone warning in there. All right. I guess we'll move on to our next segment here, the Money Makers segment. This is going to be our sports betting segment for this year. I believe Jared had to go tend to the dog, so I'll start us off here. If you go on DraftKings, they have a section under player props called Dominance, and basically what it is like your Christian McCaffreys, your Justin Jeffersons, your Patrick Mahomes. They came up with stat lines versus their division rivals. So like the one I have here is Justin Jefferson to get between 201 and 300 receiving yards versus the Lions this year. So that's at plus 180, and that's between the 2 games. So I thought that was a pretty safe one. Jared, you said you didn't do any dominance ones, right?
No, it was confusing to me.
Okay.
Should I go with my player props first, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, here, I'll give my other player prop that I had.
Okay.
They have Alexander Madison listed at over 6.5 rushing touchdowns is plus 100. I thought that was really low, considering he's probably going to be the featured back there. You might have like a Zeke, Tony Pollard, like split kind of between him and Kene Nwangu, but like I don't really see it like that because they're both kind of just like speedy guys. And
What?
Alexander,
Sign Zeke.
yeah,
That would suck.
yeah, that would actually really suck. But yeah, I think Madison, because when he would fill in for Dalvin, he would play great. And he looks like Dalvin Cook too. So
And they
yeah.
were like number 4 and number 2.
yeah.
Slightly lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Madison over 6.5 rushing touchdowns at plus 100, I thought was really good. And then yeah, Justin Jefferson between 201 and 300 receiving yards versus the Lions this year at plus 180.
So fun.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, definitely. My player props are the man on my shirt, Terry McLaurin, over 900.5 yards receiving.
Wow.
Is I believe it was plus 120 for the over, which is kind of crazy because he's like right at 1,000 every year with like garbage quarterback play. So it's like, I don't know where they're getting that number. I think he could go over that really easily, especially with how much Sam is throwing it to him in training camp. It's like anytime Sam has any pressure in his face, he just throws it to Terry, which is so awesome because last year it was like pulling teeth to get them to throw it to Terry. And he still hit 1,000 yards last year. So it's like, I think that one's pretty solid. And then my other one is Rashad Penny under 600 yards rushing. Rashad Penny can't stay healthy. The Eagles have a million running backs, and their quarterback likes to run. I don't see it happening. I think even if he doesn't get healthy, I think even if he doesn't get hurt, not healthy, even if he doesn't get hurt, I think Swift is going to come on for them in a big way. I think they really like Kenny Gainwell. So yeah, I don't see 600.5 happening. And he's also getting paid like $1 million, which like I would love to get paid $1 million, but like in NFL standard, nothing. So those are my 2 player props. I think those are pretty solid.
Yeah, no, I like those. I know you had a good value pick too. My good value pick was Daniel Jones over 3,300 yards at plus 100. I think I was talking to Jared. I think the Giants paid him like a real quarterback. I think he's going to play like a real quarterback. And he passed for 3,000 yards last year, and I think had over 800 rushing yards. I think he's going to run the ball a little less this year, but I think he's going to be passing the ball a lot more. So yeah, I think 3,300 is a pretty low mark for that. So I would say it's a good value pick there.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think when you pay your quarterback that much, you want him to actually play like a quarterback.
Yeah.
So plus, what is it? His second year in Dayball's system.
Yeah.
That'll probably help. And the receivers are better this year.
Yeah, also, too, we have a lot more deep threats between Darren Waller, obviously. Jalen Hyatt's super fast, super tall. Got Paris Campbell as a slot guy. Isaiah Hodgins.
I saw he hit 24 miles an hour in practice.
Really? I didn't see that.
Crazy. The fastest Tyreek has ever hit in a game is 23 miles an hour.
Well, Giants weren't practicing in full pads either.
Oh, okay. I got
But
you.
still, dude's like super fast.
Yeah, that's so fast.
Yeah, I'm excited about him. I think he's gonna be really good.
Yeah, my great value pick. It's like the Walmart brand.
Yeah.
Plus 800. You get the Bucks to win the NFC South. I'm not saying the Bucks are good. I'm saying that the Bucks have won the NFC South the past couple of years. They lost Tom Brady, yes, big loss. But it's the same team besides that. They didn't lose anybody else. And like, sure, Baker Mayfield isn't very good. He played decent for the Rams last year. He wasn't horrible. And plus 800, that's the worst odds in the NFC South. Yeah. That's worse than the Panthers. And the Panthers are like, I don't know. I think that's kind of crazy that it's plus 800.
Yeah.
That's like the Giants to win the NFC East is plus 800. And I think the Bucks have a way better shot to win their division.
It's like comparing apples to oranges. It's like with the NFC South. No, but for real, with the NFC South, it's like who's the least. Open. The NFC South is who's the least worst team, whereas the NFC East is who's the best team.
Yeah, definitely.
So Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, did you have any other sports betting props?
Yes, I did. I have the Vikings to make the playoffs is plus 115. I think that's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
They're a good team. Kirk Cousins just came in the 40s in the top 100, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Happy for him. The quarterback show is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I've always loved Kirk Cousins. You know, it pained me that he left. But like my favorite ever trading card is a Kirk Cousins rookie card that I sent him when I was 12 years old. And he sent it back to me. It says, to Jared, Kirk Cousins. He signed it. It's so freaking cool.
That is so cool.
Coolest guy ever. The coolest guy ever. So, and I think it's like episode 5 or 6. They actually show Kirk like opening fan mail and like signing cards for people.
That's
so like
cool.
He still does it. I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vikings plus 115 to make the playoffs. I think that makes a ton of sense. And then you can get the Commanders at plus 300 to make the playoffs. I know not a lot of people are high on the Commanders right now, but we went 8-1 last year with Carson freaking Wentz playing quarterback and Heineke, who's also not very good. Fun story, not very good. Our team is better than last year. Our defense is way better than last year, and nobody thinks it can happen, which is weird to me because we're like a win instead of a tie against the Giants away from making the freaking playoffs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think plus 300 is pretty sweet, especially because the NFC isn't like there's not that many good teams in the NFC.
Yeah.
I think like you've got the Lions, the Vikings, the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Commanders. As like that's 8 teams right there that I just named. I think that could easily be the playoffs in the NFC.
I think the NFC North could send 3 teams.
You're a little bit higher on the Packers than I am.
Well, even the Bears, dude.
You're way higher than I am on the Bears.
Remember last year when we started recording the podcast, I said the Bears weren't going to be the worst team, and they weren't. They were pretty decent.
They were the worst team.
Oh yeah, they were, but they
in the draft.
but they played like Justin Fields played phenomenal.
Justin Fields played better than expected, but the Bears were the worst team in the NFL.
That did happen actually.
Oh, and I remember the first episode. You're like, I think the Bears are going to be good. And I was like, Evan, the Bears have a better chance of being the worst team in the NFL than they have a chance of being good. Oh,
they were such exciting games, though.
That was great. Super exciting games. Don't get me wrong. Super exciting games. But statistically, the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I'm so glad you brought that up. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to do better this year.
Yeah, well.
I think it'd be a little bit bold to say they'd be a top 3 worst team this year.
No, I agree.
Okay. Glad we're on the same page.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. All right, you want to get into our 2-minute drill?
Absolutely.
All right, so this year it's taking the place of our Guess the Player segment. It's called the 2-minute drill. Basically, I will give Jared 2 trivia questions, and he has to answer them in 2 minutes or less, and then he'll do the same for me. So, Jared, I'll ask you mine first, if that's okay.
Are you reading them both off and then starting the timer?
No, it'll be one, and then once you get it correct,
you'll stop the timer. Read me the second one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, yeah, it's just 1 guess per question. So.
I like it.
Yeah. Another thought I had for this segment would be we have 2 minutes to name, like, career receiving yardage leaders and see who can name the most players, like in like top 50 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll start with this.
Yeah, that's not.
We'll start with this. All right. All right. So my first question here is, What position has never won a Walter Payton Man of the Year award?
Oh my
Timer starts now.
God.
There's only one position that's never won it.
Punter.
That is correct.
Yes. Woo!
So you have a minute and 50 seconds to answer the next question.
That's sick. Let's go.
Name one of the top 3 career receiving yardage leaders for the Baltimore Ravens. This one was tricky, and I made it top 3 because I was like, I would never
the
guess.
top 3. Holy cow.
You just have to name one of them.
Anquan Bolden.
That's incorrect.
Ooh.
So for that one, it was Derek Mason was 1,
Okay.
Todd Heap was 2,
Shut up.
and Ray Rice was 3. Yeah. Is that insane? Yeah.
Wow.
Like crazy top 3 receiving yardage leaders.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So you had, I'm going to keep track of like how well we do on these, but so you got one of the 2 correct.
I need to take my time, dude. I had like a minute 45 left.
You had a minute 30 left, yeah.
Good grief.
So you answered one of the 2 correct, which is pretty good. So do you have your phone available? Do you want to time me for my questions?
Yeah.
Okay. You can just start it once you read it off.
All right. 1 sec. There we go. All right. So this is the 2013 draft class.
Okay.
That's where this question comes from. The first 7 picks are as follows. Eric Fisher to the Chiefs, Luke Joeckel to the Jags, Deion Jordan to the Miami Dolphins, Lane Johnson to the Eagles, Ezekiel Ansah to the Lions, Barkevius Mingo to the Browns, Jonathan Cooper to the Cardinals, and this receiver to the St. Louis Rams.
Oh man, I knew who I wanted to say, but I don't think it's right. All right, I'm thinking. Let me know when I get to a minute.
Okay.
I'll set halftime. To the Rams. I think this was 2014, but I'm just going to say Sammy Watkins.
Incorrect. I think Sammy Watkins got drafted by the Bills.
Oh, that's right.
This player,
He's bounced
the greatest highlight tape of all
Dude,
time.
I thought it was Tavon Austin.
Tavon Austin.
For some reason, I thought Tavon Austin was like 2012. The first player that came to mind was Kenny Britt, which would have been a large stretch, but
That's a deep cut.
yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. I'll mention that after this segment about our.
You have a minute 15 left.
Okay.
This is kind of tailored to you here.
Okay.
Name 5 of the top 7 running backs in career yardage for the New York Giants.
Okay.
5 of the top 7.
All right. So Tiki Barber. If I get one wrong, does my time end? Am I done?
That's a good question.
All right. I'm gonna say.
I'll give you 7 guesses.
Okay. So Tiki Barber. I'm gonna say Otis Anderson.
Incorrect.
Rodney Hampton.
Correct.
Okay. Saquon.
Correct.
Brandon Jacobs.
Correct. You got 2 guesses for the last one.
How much time do I have?
30 seconds.
All right. Ahmad Bradshaw.
Correct.
All right.
There
Let's
you go.
Sweet.
The other one was. Well, the other.
Well, I got all 5, right?
Oh, yeah, you got 5. So the other 2 were Joe Morris,
Okay.
who had 5,200 yards in 6 years. That's pretty good. And then Alex Webster from 1955 to 1964.
I was gonna say I don't even know if I know who that is. I've heard.
I
of Jim
saw
Moore.
that guy and I was like, okay, I have to give him like some leeway here because
What
that's
were
insane.
Otis Anderson ranks on that list? Because I know he is it 16th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
'Cause I think he won the Super Bowl against the Bills or the Broncos, one or the other.
Who was the first one you got wrong? Oh, Otis Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Where does Rashad Jennings rank on that list?
18th.
Really? Okay. All right.
That's like
So
broke his neck, right? Or no, that was David Wilson.
that was David Wilson. That dude was a kick return. He was the guy who do backflips when he scored.
Yeah, that guy was awesome.
He was sick. I have his autograph.
He is on the list.
He's probably not that high.
Daniel Jones is higher than him.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Daniel Jones ran for like 800 yards last year.
David Wilson, 68th.
Okay.
500 career yards.
Yeah, the first Giants regular season game I went to was with my dad, and he was there like signing autographs outside the stadium.
No way. That's
Yeah,
cool.
he was like the featured player or whatever. So I brought him a rookie card, had him sign it, and then I got a picture with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was cool. All right, cool. Well, that was a fun little segment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's probably a couple things we could do with that. But yeah, so far we're tied up 1-1 then.
Not bad.
All right, I guess we'll go into our pigskin predictions. So usually this will be a weekly thing where we just predict who we think is going to win each game. And then I'm going to keep track of that as well and see how we're doing week by week. But for this week, we're going to do division winners. And we also have odds associated with these as well. So I'll start first. So for the AFC East, I picked the Jets at plus 270. The Bills are favored in this division, but the Jets just have that Buccaneer-esque kind of thing going with their roster. Obviously, like we were talking about, Rodgers taking the pay cut. So yeah, I think the Jets are going to win the division. Do you want to just go division by
Do you want me
division?
to do my AFC East, or do you want to go the whole way through?
I say we just go division by division.
Okay. Yeah. I also have the New York Jets. I think when the Jets have a chance to be special, I'm gonna have to pick them, just because my cousin Owen is a diehard Jets fan, and he's witnessed nothing for the past 14 years. So I think the Jets really have a shot. They have a shot to either be the 2020 Buccaneers, or they have a shot to be like the 2012 Los Angeles Lakers, where they got Steve Nash and Dwight Howard and were horrible. So I think they're either going to be like awesome or like really bad.
Yeah, I think Rodgers is going all in. I think they're going to be pretty good.
I think Garrett Wilson has a chance to be like offensive player of the year type stuff.
Well, when was the last time an offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year were from the same team?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, probably a long time ago.
Probably back when the league had 6 teams.
Yeah. I'm gonna look that up real quick. You want to do your AFC North winner?
Yep. And at AFC North, there's something special brewing in Baltimore, I believe. I really like their defense. I'm a huge Roquan guy, and getting him last year for them for like pennies on the dollar was so huge for that defense. I think them adding Odell and Zay Flowers and getting Rashad Bateman back healthy is like going to completely change their receiving core. That's going to be so awesome for Lamar to be able to pass. And then they also said they're not going to have Lamar run as much in the new Todd Monken offense, that Georgia offense that we've seen. And I just can't imagine them not succeeding if teams aren't like just imagine playing the Ravens and Lamar is throwing 30 times a game, and then it's like actually a changeup to see him run.
Yeah.
Like that would be terrifying.
Yeah.
That would be unbelievable.
Did
So
you say you picked the Ravens this year?
yeah, Ravens plus 220.
Yeah, I also picked the Ravens for mine.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know if the Bengals are gonna be. You know how teams kind of like they're like, oh, they're gonna be like they're looking really good, but then like they start to fall apart. I think that could be the Bengals, sort of, kind of. I think it all just depends on Joe Burrow's quarterback play. I think obviously now he might end up missing like 1 or 2 weeks, or he might be back like week 1 or something.
Yeah.
But he had an injury during training camp, so it'll be tough to see. I do think I wanted to mention this as well. I think whatever Joe Burrow's interception totals are for week 1, like over under, I'm gonna take the over. Because last year he threw like 4 interceptions week 1 because he missed training camp, and he's doing the same thing this year, missing training camp, missing the preseason. He's not a bad quarterback.
It started slow last year. You're right.
Yeah, he's not a bad quarterback, obviously, but like when you miss, about a month and a half of football, and you come back, your first action's a regular season game. I don't think you play as well as somebody who's been through the whole training camp process and everything. But yeah, anyways, I'm going Ravens as well. I think they have a good thing going there. I've heard a lot of good things about Odell, so I've heard that he's really fitting well with them. And Zay Flowers too. Apparently, they already coined the nickname the Human Joystick, which was previously Dante Hall, the Chiefs' punt returner. So yeah, Zay Flowers almost seems to be like a rookie Odell Beckham, and then you also have the veteran Odell Beckham. But
you got Bateman too.
Yeah.
And then Mark Andrews. Don't forget about the second best tight end in the league.
Yeah.
That's a wild offense.
It is, yeah. And if J.K. Dobbins can stay healthy, I think they got a really good run. I'm really surprised that Gus Edwards is still on the Ravens. He feels like he's been on the Ravens forever.
Forever.
Yeah. And every year.
I think it's probably been like 4 years, but like that feels like forever. I feel like Gus Edwards has been there since like Willis McGahee.
Well, yeah. Well, also too because like he's never that good.
Right. He just comes in when somebody's hurt, plays good for a game, and then gets hurt himself.
Yeah, it's like weird.
No.
But yeah, I like the Ravens. For the AFC South, I went with the Jaguars. Obviously, I think them and the Lions are in the same boat where it's like they have a ton of young talent. They are like really looking towards the future, and like they're both like I think I have Lions as well to win the NFC North because I think they're both in positions where it's like, all right, they're on the cusp of being great, and I think this is the year that they both take that leap to possibly win at least one playoff game. I know the Jags did it last year, but the Lions. When was the last time the Lions made the playoffs? How long has it been?
Did they make it at all with Stafford and Calvin Johnson?
I think once.
1 year, yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, I don't know. I picked the Jaguars as well. I think their offense is going to be like even better, which is awesome for them. Like Calvin Ridley looks fast, really fast. I think everybody's seen that highlight of him running after Zay Jones, and Zay Jones looks like he's moving at like a normal speed, and then Calvin runs it like twice as fast.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be awesome. And like any true gambler, he's going to come back and try and get I think he lost again.
Yeah.
No, but I think the Jags for sure are going to, like I said earlier, the Titans just feel like they're trying to weirdly Band-Aid up for one last run. And it's like, I don't know if you should do that. I think you might just want to. They got a new GM last year. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they just like are huge sellers at the deadline. Like any veteran, you can have them all.
Yeah. I looked up last time the Lions won a playoff game. It was 1991. 32 years they haven't won a playoff game. So I think they're when you talk about due, I think they are due.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
91.
It's the last time they won a playoff game. The last time they went was 2016.
Can we talk about how horrible their alternate jerseys are?
I don't know if I saw those.
Look them up. They came out with an alternate helmet, and it's like vibrant blue. It's not even the right color blue for like the lion on the side of it. It's so ugly. And I guess they're gonna wear it with their all gray jerseys. It looks horrible.
I think it looks cooler not on the head.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's just that they picked Aiden Hutchinson to be the rollout guy.
Yeah, I think this is one of those things that are gonna look a lot cooler
On the actual person.
on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might.
Yeah, dude, I've been like putting every single throwback jersey that's coming back in our group chat because I absolutely love all the throwbacks coming back. Obviously the Eagles just came out with their Kelly Green ones.
Oh yeah.
They look so cool.
Fire.
The Seahawks alternate logo or the retro logo from like the 90s.
Unbelievable.
I love those uniforms, dude. Vikings even brought back like a
Why? So that's a question I have. The NFL had all these vibrant, cool jerseys, and then they like the Seahawks went from like those awesome colors to like navy blue and like a slight green accent. And like the Cardinals just did a whole rebrand on their jerseys and everything, and their jerseys are now just like either all white with red letters or all red with white letters. And it's just like, why is everything getting so like simplified and chic? Like
it's like on the Falcons jerseys too, just like the ATL.
Right.
Like
right.
It's just kind of weird. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think anyone would have a problem if every single team went back to the uniforms they were wearing in 1990.
So sweet.
Along with the logos.
I'm on board.
The Jaguars. Yeah, Jaguars. The Jaguars old logo with the actual Jaguar, like, just so cool, dude. So much more character. Like even the NBA logos are the worst like example of it. The biggest miss is the Detroit Pistons with the horse with the exhaust coming out. Coolest uniform or coolest logo ever. And now it's just like a basketball.
Right. Like the old Raptors logo and jerseys. So cool.
Yeah, dude. Just so many cool. I'm just happy they're finally bringing them back.
Yeah.
Like I never understood why teams couldn't have two helmets. That didn't make much sense to me. Yeah. But I'm happy they can have two helmets now.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Speaking of two helmets, did you see the Broncos' new helmets with so fire.
So cool. They're coining them like the snow-capped helmets because they're all with the retro, the John Elway logo, like so cool.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the AFC West, I have the Chiefs minus 165. Like, I'm not gonna be stupid and bet against the Chiefs. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I know. I have tendencies to like. When something looks too good, I just go the other way. But yeah, I know last year I said that the Chiefs were going to miss the playoffs, and they won the Super Bowl. so yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win the division. Like they're so good. Like it's really hard, and because they lost Tyreek, and everyone was like, "Oh, are they going to be the same offense?" And then they won the Super Bowl, and it's just like, so how do you beat these guys? Like, I don't know if they'll make it to another Super Bowl, but I think they'll win the division.
Put it past them.
Yeah.
They have the best player in the sport. So.
Yeah. All
right. Over to the NFC.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the NFC East is the easiest division for me to pick. The Eagles are going to win the division because they are probably one of the best teams ever assembled. They're unbelievable. Like that team last year, although they didn't win the Super Bowl, was one of the best teams ever.
Yeah.
So good. And I know we talked about that last year. They were like on par. Like if they won the Super Bowl, they might have gone down as one of the best teams of all time.
Yeah, I listened to our final episode earlier today. I just listened to a brief snippet of it. Mm-hmm. And it was me talking about how I told Almeida they might be one of the best teams of all time, and he was just completely disagreeing with me. And I'm like, dude,
I was like,
this team is ridiculous. Like, especially their defense. Like they almost set the record for most sacks in a single season by a defense.
Yeah.
And so, regardless,
Yeah.
I did not pick the Eagles to win the division because I'm a real NFC East fan. I picked the Giants at plus 850. That's also my good value pick. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Sure, the Eagles could win the division, but I can't sit here and tell myself that it's set in stone and the Eagles are going to win the division. I just can't do that to myself
They're
because
one Jalen Hurts injury away from not winning the division.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, I took the Giants. No, I don't know if I even have an explanation. And if I did, it would probably last 10 minutes. So I'll just keep that all to myself.
Right. Probably a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I chose the Commanders as my good value to make the playoffs. I'm not going to choose them in this because I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah, that's true.
At the end of the year, I have to be able to point back to something, and it can't just be the Commanders. NFC North, my pick is the Vikings. Mostly because I think their defense is going to be a lot better, and their offense was already like really good. So I think that they can take the steps. And they won the division last year, so now they've been there. They've been to the playoffs. Of course, they lost in the playoffs because their defense was terrible. But yeah, I think the Vikings are my choice for the NFC North.
Yeah, I took the Lions for the NFC North. They are the most favored team to win the division.
Yeah.
But I think you could also say, like I said earlier about the Jags and the Lions, you could probably say the same thing about the Vikings, where they're kind of a team where they've been on the cusp so many years, but then Kirk just doesn't show up in prime time.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes back to him. He doesn't have nightlife, He goes to bed at like 8 p.m. He's not a guy that stays out on the town, so he's not used to being up that late. And
he was good prime time last year. He did well. They had a couple primetime games. Didn't they like destroy the Patriots on Thanksgiving? Did that happen, or am I making that up? I think they definitely destroyed them because Kirk was eating the turducken in that quarterback show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was prime time.
They also had that. It was Christmas, right? Colts Vikings.
Greatest comeback ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that he's kind of becoming better in prime time, but that playoff game was tough. That was tough to watch. The Vikings just were all facets of that game pretty mediocre. But the Giants made them that way, so good for the Giants.
Yeah. I think that Colts Vikings game is the perfect description of the Vikings. How did you let the Colts score 33 points? But then
it was unanswered.
It was. It was 33-0. It was 33-0.
That's unbelievable. And that was Sam Ellinger?
It couldn't have been.
No, maybe it was Matt Ryan.
I think it was Matt Ryan. I'm almost positive it was Matt Ryan because Sam Ellinger can't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it was Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, 19 of 33, 182 and a touchdown.
Also, they had like 2 defensive touchdowns in that game, didn't they? The Colts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because how does your quarterback only put up 182 yards and 1 touchdown and you scored 33 points?
Yeah, I think Kirk threw 2 pick sixes that game.
Yeah. Or there was a special teams one, too. It was like a blocked punt.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you're picking the Lions, you said?
Yeah, I said Lions, yep.
What are the odds for the Lions?
Plus 140.
The Vikings are plus 275.
Okay.
The NFC West, we can go through that one quick. It's the 49ers. The Seahawks, they were a nice surprise last year. They're not better than the 49ers. Their defense could be good. The 49ers is better. The Seahawks could be good at passing. The 49ers probably have better weapons. It's just like they're kind of a super team.
Yeah.
except for the quarterback. So we'll see. We'll see who if Brock Purdy is like truly the guy. I hope he is because I have him in Dynasty now. But yeah, we'll see on them. I know we're both picking them at minus 160.
Yeah.
And then the NFC South is left.
Yeah. For the NFC South, I chose the Panthers. I just think they're probably going to be a team at the end of the season where they're an on the cusp team. I think. I just think that division is such a toss up. They could win it because the Saints haven't been really on the cusp. They've just gotten lucky when they've won, like because
they've kicked the can down the road so many times. They have so many vets that are owed so much money. If the Saints have to make the playoffs this year, or they're like in like a 3 to 5 year rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that said, I didn't pick the Saints because I don't like the Saints, and I think they're going to be bad because Derek Carr is bad. I picked the Falcons plus 215. I think they could surprise some people, and I also think, like you said, that division is a total toss-up. So who knows? I would love if Desmond Ridder comes out and is just terrible, and then Taylor Heineke just gets to play the rest of the season because that would be so fun to watch. Can you imagine Taylor Heineke with those weapons?
Yeah.
Picturesque. How many pylons is he crashing into this year?
Dude, one arm outstretched.
Right.
The rest of his body's already out of bounds.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that division's definitely a total toss-up. I mean, Panthers, they did some stuff this offseason.
The Bucks are great value at plus 800. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just because, like, literally, I could flip a coin, a 4-sided coin, and I'd have no idea where it was going to land.
A 4-sided coin.
But yeah, my total odds on the parlay are plus 104,000 for my 8-pick parlay, which gives you, if you bet $1, you would make $1,045. Not bad.
Yeah, mine was all in thanks to my Giants at plus 850. My odds were like plus 570,000. So you bet $1, you win like $5,700. This is a disclaimer. I did a lot of parlays last year. I'm gonna shy away from that. We will be doing. I talked to Jared. We're gonna be doing a same game parlay each week. We're gonna have it at plus 100 to plus 150 odds, and we're gonna try and build off of that every single week. So we're just gonna take our winnings and bet that on the next same game parlay, and hopefully, if we make it to
make
$1
billion.
Well, I think I did the math. If you make it to the end of the year, it's something like, I think it's like $100,000. So
that would be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think we maybe get some more views.
If one of us makes $100,000, are we splitting it?
Well, we're gonna be choosing the same game parlays.
We're choosing the same ones.
We can't have 2 same game parlays.
It's better odds.
No, it's not, because then you have 6 legs. It's better odds, but not better odds of. Sure. I say we talk about it and we combine and we figure out some same game parlays and we just make one.
We're also gonna do a Schmigley Jones parlay.
I don't know if I'm gonna do a Schmigley Jones wall parlay this year, but we'll see.
No, that's fine.
We'll see though. I'm not putting it completely out of the question.
Let's go.
What are the guidelines for that parlay? Like plus 1,000 or better?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps. Oh, I wanted to mention as well. There's this website. It's called Crossover Grids. Is it Grid or Grids?
I thought it was Crossover Gridiron.
No, it's just Crossover Grid. So it's crossovergrid.com. I'll try to add a little text box and throw it at the bottom of the video.
It's like the Immaculate Grid thing for baseball, but it's football. I know the Immaculate Grid came out with a football version, but it sucks, and they don't use logos, and I hate it. So we like using Crossover Grid. And then if we're feeling really spicy and we want to do another one, we do the Dynasty Daddy one.
Yeah.
That one's kind of weird. There's all these colors that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Crossover grid is the way to go. And if you get somebody that has less than 5%, DM us on Instagram and you might get called out for it.
I was just gonna say, if you do it, no matter how many you get
Sure,
right
match
or
the
wrong,
grid. Yeah.
just screenshot the grid and DM us on Instagram at Drop a Pass Run a Mile, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna pick like 3 of the best pools that we think people had, and it can be
If you
it'll
get
be
immaculate, we'll shout you out on the pod.
yeah. So yeah, we'll do that, and then maybe at the end of the year we'll like give you a prize or something. Hopefully we can hit all 17 weeks of that SGP, and that'll be
right. We're gonna give you a measly $5.
But yeah, do you have anything else to add?
No, nothing else. Super excited for this year.
Mhm.
I know this episode's gonna come out, and then you're not gonna hear from us for like
I know.
3 or 4 weeks, but
Yeah.
just let that momentum build into the season, and come back for us before week 1.
Yeah, Jared and I talked about it because last year obviously was our first season of doing this, and we started before the preseason. But like
Never
those 3 weeks before the season started were like hell.
Never
like,
again.
We had nothing to talk about, and it was tough.
And we're both way busier now, so that's definitely not happening.
Yeah. I mean, I live in New York now, and Jerry Seinfeld's apartment, so.
I just got drafted, so we're cool.
Or are you one of the guys next to?
I'm the wish kid that gets to come out and call the next pick.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up for this episode. Like I said, check us out on YouTube as well. TikTok will be posting some too. So follow us over there. I think our handle is just Drop a Pass, Run a Mile everywhere. That's the beauty of having a long name for your podcast because nobody else is gonna copy it. So yeah. Also, I hope you like all the graphics that I put together along with the intro song. My goal is that we get big enough to where they reach out and tell us that we can't use the intro song because it's copyrighted.
Woo! That'd be huge.
Yeah, which would be sick. So up until that point, that will be our new intro song. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for listening. We will talk to you again in about 2 or 3 weeks once the regular season starts. And and we'll also be posting on our personal Instagram accounts, when episodes come out. So if you don't want to follow, you know what, never mind. You better follow. You better follow.
Yeah, better follow. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also, if you have a next-gen console and you enjoy playing Madden, text or DM our account, and we can add you to our connected franchise, which is going to be super exciting. Hoping to get a ton of people in that. So
Madden 24 also when that comes out. Because now with crossplay, I think we have 8 people right now. So yeah, the more the merrier. That'll be fun. But yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. Have a good day. Have a good night. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you when the season starts.
Love you guys.